What happens when you have so much money that a mansion isn't enough? You don't just buy a house, you buy the entire village, and then you build a wall around it. These aren't neighborhoods, they're fortresses, private kingdoms where the ultra-wealthy disappear from the rest of us. We found the 15 most exclusive millionaire-only villages on Earth. And number 1, it's basically a private nation. Our countdown starts at number 15, the Yellowstone Club, Montana, USA. This isn't a ski resort. It's a private mountain. Forget waiting in lift lines. This is 15,000 private acres of wilderness, with 2,900 acres of skiable terrain, owned entirely by the members. The only people on this mountain are the 860 members, people like Bill Gates, Justin Timberlake, Mark Zuckerberg. To even get in, you have to pay a $400,000 joining fee. Then, you pay over $40,000 a year, and then you're allowed to buy your $30 million chalet. But the real perk? Security. This is the only community in America with its own private, armed, on-mountain security and medical team. The airspace is restricted, and because former vice presidents are members, the entire property is under the permanent protection of the U.S. Secret Service. You're not just buying a ski pass, you're buying a piece of a federally protected fortress. Number 14, Atherton, California, USA. Forget Beverly Hills. This is the money capital of the world. Zip code 94027. This isn't a village. It's a collection of trees. On purpose, there are no sidewalks, no streetlights, no grocery stores, no restaurants. The entire town is zoned to prevent anything but single-family homes on massive 1-acre minimum lots. Why? To keep people out. This is where the tech gods of Silicon Valley went to hide from the world they created. Eric Schmidt of Google, the founders of WhatsApp and Facebook. This is where they live. The average home price isn't $10 million, it's $75 million for a teardown. The town's only real business is the police department, which exists almost entirely to patrol the empty streets and respond to the high-tech security systems that surround every single property. It's a town designed to be invisible. Number 13, Meadow Lane, Southampton, New York, USA. This is not the Hamptons. This is a 5-mile sandbar known as Billionaire's Row. This is where Wall Street actually lives. On one side, the Atlantic Ocean. On the other side, Shinnecock Bay. The houses are on a tiny strip of land in between. It's a private moat. There is one road, and on it are 50 of the most expensive properties in New York. Daniel Loeb, David Koch, Calvin Klein. These are 10-acre oceanfront compounds, each with a 20,000-square-foot shingle-style house, a pool, a tennis court, and a helicopter landing pad. Why? Because no one who lives here drives. It's a 3-hour traffic jam from Manhattan. They fly, they take their private helicopter from their Wall Street office and land in their backyard. This isn't a village. It's a private runway for the masters of the universe. Number 12. Kensington Palace Gardens, London, UK. You thought Bishop's Avenue was Billionaire's Row? That's for the new money. This is Ambassador's Row. This half-mile-long tree-lined street isn't just near royalty, it shares a backyard with Kensington Palace. Prince William and Princess Kate are your literal neighbors. This is, without question, the most secure residential street in the United Kingdom. It's closed to the public at both ends by massive guarded gates. It is patrolled 24/7 by the Diplomatic Protection Group, an elite armed branch of the London Police. You can't drive down it. You can't walk down it. Google Street View is banned. So, who lives here? The Sultan of Brunei, the King of Saudi Arabia, the embassies of Russia and Israel, and Roman Abramovich, the oligarch. These aren't houses. They're state-level institutions, each with its own private security, protected by a public, state-funded army. Number 11. Star Island, Miami Beach, Florida, USA. You thought Fisher Island was exclusive? You thought Indian Creek was secure? Star Island is a man-made oval connected to Miami by a single 24/7 guarded bridge. And unlike those other islands, this one is right in your face. It's designed to be seen, but never, ever entered. The guard at the bridge will stop you. There is no going for a drive. You're either on the list or you're turning around. Shaquille O'Neal, Gloria Estefan, P. Diddy. These are 30,000 to 40,000 to 60,000 square foot mega compounds. Each one has a private dock for a 150-foot yacht. The mansions are so big they block the view of the next mansion. This isn't a bunker like Indian Creek. This is a palace. It's a $5 billion island fortress built for celebrities who want you to know they're rich, but who will have you arrested if you try to get a closer look. And now, at number 10, La Zagaleta, Spain. This is where James Bond villains would actually live. 2,200 acres of private estate hidden in the mountains above Marbella. This isn't just gated, it's invisible. You can't find it on most maps. You can't see it on Google Street View. The only way in? Through one of two guarded entrances that make the Pentagon look welcoming. We're talking ex-Israeli Special Forces, 24/7 armed patrols, and a security protocol so strict you can't even enter as a guest without prior multi-level clearance. Inside, it's a personal country. This village has its own town hall, its own private equestrian center with stables for 100 horses, a 5,000 square meter clubhouse, 2 private residents-only golf courses. So you never have to play with the public. They even have wild deer, horses, and mouflon that roam free, because this was the personal hunting estate of one of the richest men in the world, Adnan Khashoggi, a notorious arms dealer. He sold it and it was converted into this ultra bunker. The plots alone sell for $10 to $15 million. That's just for the land. The houses built on them start at $30 million and go north of $100 million. And to even be allowed to buy, you have to pay a $100,000 joining fee just for them to consider your application. La Zagaleta isn't a village. It's a self-contained, heavily armed monarchy hidden in the Spanish hills. Number 9. Emirates Hills, Dubai. They call it the Beverly Hills of Dubai, but that's underselling it. This is a completely walled-off city of custom-built palaces. When Dubai wanted to create the most exclusive neighborhood in the Middle East, they didn't copy. They built a fortress and painted it gold. The entire community is sealed off from the rest of the city. We're talking 24/7 guarded gates, patrols, and a level of surveillance that makes the rest of Dubai look relaxed. Inside, there are no models. There are no options. Every single home is a one-off, custom-built mega mansion. We're talking 40,000 square foot, 50,000 square foot palaces. Each one is designed by a world-famous architect, flown in to build a personal monument for its owner. Marble from Italian quarries that are closed to the public. Faucets made of solid gold. Entire wings of a house dedicated just to party rooms. And every single one overlooks the Montgomery Championship golf course. Residents don't just get a membership. The course is effectively their shared backyard. The cheapest villa ever sold here was $20 million, but in Dubai, that's considered a bargain for this level of status. This is where the founders of Dubai's biggest companies live. This is where global tycoons come to live a tax-free life, but only if they can pass the background check to get inside the walls. Number 8 is where it gets interesting. Sentosa Cove, Singapore. In a country where 90% of the population lives in government-subsidized high-rises, this place shouldn't exist. In a nation where foreign ownership of land is nearly impossible, this is the only place where an outsider can legally own a piece of Singaporean soil. Sentosa Cove is a man-made island, connected to the main island of Singapore by a single guarded bridge. It's the ultimate status symbol. Why? Because every single property comes with a private dock, not for a speedboat, for a superyacht. The canals are built so that billionaires can park their 100-foot yachts in their front garden. This is where the real crazy rich Asians live. The lifestyle is completely detached from reality. You don't drive a car, you drive a custom golf buggy. The entire enclave is designed for them. It has its own private grocery store, its own private restaurants, its own security that patrols the streets and the waterways. The average resident here has a net worth in the hundreds of millions. The homes start at $10 million and skyrocket to over $100 million. Even renting a house here can cost you $40,000 a month. It's a private, tropical billionaire's paradise built on a loophole. Number 7. The Peak, Hong Kong. Here's what you need to know. Just a parking spot, sold for $1.3 million. That's not the house. That's where you park your car. The Peak isn't about the mansion you buy. It's about the address you own. This is the mountain where Hong Kong's wealthiest families have lived for generations. This isn't a village. It's a hierarchy. The higher up the mountain you live, the richer you are. The views overlook the entire city skyline. But you're not buying a view. You're buying a position above everyone else. Literally. The houses here are some of the most expensive per square foot on Earth. A 5,000 square foot house, small by billionaire standards, sold for over $500 million. Why? Because you're not just buying a house. You're buying the feng shui, the wind and water. This location is considered the most auspicious, the most powerful, the luckiest place in all of Asia. And it has a dark history. This was the spot reserved for the British colonial elite. It was legally segregated until 1947. No one of Chinese descent was allowed to live there. That legacy of brutal exclusivity has never left. You don't just buy a house on the Peak. You have to be from a family that has held power for a century. Number 6 looks like a postcard. Portofino, Italy. You've seen the pictures. Colorful buildings, charming harbor, quaint fishing village vibes. Wrong. This is one of the most exclusive, old-money playgrounds in Europe. It's a performance. The charming harbor isn't filled with fishing boats. It's filled with super yachts worth more than most people will earn in 10 lifetimes. And the harbor is so small, just parking your yacht for an afternoon can cost $5,000. The quaint, colorful houses, they're not homes. They're trophies. They are owned by the world's biggest fashion designers, Armani, Dolce & Gabbana. They're owned by the oldest, wealthiest families in Italy, like the Agnellis, who founded Fiat. There are only about 500 permanent residents. This village is designed to keep people out. Access by car is severely restricted. The roads are tiny, and most are closed to non-residents. The only way in is by boat or by proving you belong. You can visit as a tourist. You can buy a gelato for 10 euros, but you will never live here, unless you're worth at least $50 million, and more importantly, unless your grandfather was. Portofino is a club, and you can't apply for membership. Number 5 is disturbing. The Bishop's Avenue, London. They call it Billionaire's Row. 66 mansions. It's a single street in North London, and the combined value is in the billions. Sounds incredible, right? Here's the twist. It's a ghost town. A third of the mansions on this street are empty, abandoned, derelict, rotting from the inside out. We're talking $50 million properties with 10-foot-tall weeds, smashed windows, and swimming pools filled with black, sludgy water. Why? Because these aren't homes. They're offshore bank accounts disguised as real estate. An investigation revealed these mansions are owned by shell companies in Panama, in the British Virgin Islands. They're assets for Saudi royals, Russian oligarchs, and African dictators. They're a way to park money, often dirty money, outside of their own countries. So you have this entire street, one of the most expensive in the world, and it's crumbling. It's a physical monument to global corruption. You can walk down the street, and the only people you'll see are private security guards paid to protect empty, rotting houses. It's a ghost town for billionaires. Number 4 is hidden in plain sight. Beverly Park, Los Angeles. You think you know Beverly Hills? You don't know Beverly Park. You've seen the tour buses driving down Rodeo Drive. You've seen the maps to the stars' homes. That's for the tourists. That's for the normal millionaires, the real celebrities, the A-list superstars. They live in Beverly Park. This is the most exclusive gated community in Los Angeles, hidden in the hills above the city. 260 acres locked behind massive, ornate gates with 24/7 armed security. Denzel Washington, Eddie Murphy, Sylvester Stallone, Mark Wahlberg, Adele. This is where they hide. The lots are huge, a minimum of 2 acres. That's unheard of in LA. The cheapest home? $40 million, but most sell for over $100 million. And then there are the fees. The Homeowners Association fees are rumored to be over $30,000 a month. Why? That money pays for the private armed guards. It pays for the perfectly manicured empty streets. It pays for the total, absolute privacy. There are only 2 entrances. Both are guarded. If you're not a resident, you're not getting in. This isn't a neighborhood. It's a compound for the most famous people on Earth to live away from the rest of us. Number 3 isn't a village. It's an entire country, Monaco. The entire nation is less than 1 square mile. It is packed with more wealth per square foot than anywhere else on Earth. 1 in 3 residents is a millionaire. And let's be honest, the other 2 are probably their staff. This isn't just a rich town. It's a product designed and sold to the world's elite. The product? Zero income tax. Zero capital gains tax. You don't move to Monaco for the space. You'll pay $10 million for a tiny 1-bedroom apartment. You move to Monaco to protect your 9-figure income from the taxman. The entire village is a fortress. It has the most dense police force in the world, over 500 officers for just 39,000 residents. Surveillance cameras watch every single street, every corner. Why? To protect the assets. The harbor is a 24/7 supercar show. Ferraris, Lamborghinis, and Bugattis are stuck in traffic. The waiting list to even become a resident can take years. You have to park millions in a Monaco bank account, buy or rent a property, and pass a background check. You don't just move to Monaco. You have to prove you deserve to be there. Number 2 is America's richest zip code, Fisher Island, Florida. 216 acres. This isn't near Miami. This is a fortress off the coast of Miami. It is accessible only by private ferry or your own personal yacht. You cannot drive here, you cannot walk here, and you cannot get on that ferry. The ferry is for residents only. Your car has to have a special transponder. If you're a guest, even a pizza delivery guy, your name has to be submitted 24 hours in advance for a full background check. The average income per household? $2.5 million per year. This is a self-contained ecosystem for billionaires. It has its own private school, the Fisher Island Day School. It has its own private bank, its own fire department, its own post office, and, most famously, its own private beach, with sand imported from the Bahamas. Because the natural Florida sand just wasn't good enough. The buy-in for the private club is $250,000. That's not the house. That's just the fee to join. Then you pay $20,000 a year. Then you can buy your $20 million condo. Oprah used to live here. This is where the oldest, richest money in Miami went to escape the new money and the tourists on the mainland. And number one is genuinely insane. Indian Creek, Florida. The Billionaire Bunker. This is it. The most exclusive, most secure, most paranoid patch of land on the planet. One island, 41 properties. That's it. This isn't a village. It's a vault. The layout is genius. The entire center of the 300-acre island is a private, world-class golf course. The 41 mansions form a perfect, multi-billion-dollar ring around it, all facing the water. This means no one has a backyard neighbor. Your only neighbor is the 18th hole, and it ensures total privacy. But the most unbelievable part? This island has its own private police force, 13 officers, for 41 homes. That's one armed guard for every 3 residents. This isn't just security. This is a private army. They patrol the island on foot, they patrol in cars, and they patrol the surrounding water in a 24/7 armed boat. There is only one way on or off this island, a single guarded bridge, and you are not getting on it. This is where the 1% of the 1% live. Tom Brady, Jeff Bezos, Ivanka Trump, and Jared Kushner. Carl Icahn, the richest man in the world, the greatest quarterback of all time, and a former presidential family, all on one tiny island, protected by their own police force. This isn't a village. It's a private nation with its own military, designed for a world where 41 people have more power than most countries. So which one of these blew your mind the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into the world you were never meant to see, hit subscribe, because we're just getting started.